guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. I'm back here at Reeve Subaru because guess what? We have another exciting car to bring to you. This is a 2000 Ferrari 360 Modena. Let's talk a little bit about Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari has been around since 1939 was when Ferrari was created. Scuderia Ferrari. It was a separation from the Alfa Romeo race team. Enzo was going to run their race cars under the Scuderia Ferrari badge. Scuderia in Italian means stable. 1940, Ferrari builds his first car, but it wasn't until 1947 where he was actually recognized, and when I say he, Ferrari was recognized as an actual automobile manufacturer. Since then, so many great models, so much history, race wins, the 24 Hours Le Mans, Grand Prix racing, Formula One, and guess what? This 360 Modena had some big things coming out of Maranello. This is the first Ferrari during this time period to switch from the old school pop-up headlights to now standard issue permanent fit headlights. But let's talk about the lineage here, because it all goes back to the 308, the Ferrari 308. If you are a kid of the 1980s like I am, you'll remember a very popular show, Magnum PI. Tom Selleck, his car was the Ferrari 308. It went Ferrari 308, 328, Ferrari 348, the 355, which was the last of the pop-up headlights, and now the 360 Modena. Now, if you're wondering, well, what is Modena? Modena is a town in Italy where Ferrari, Enzo, was born. So you have Maranello, which is very important. Obviously, that's where the factory is, but also Modena is where the creator, the father of Ferrari, was born, Enzo Ferrari. So let's go ahead, dive into this Ferrari 360 and see what's different. So right off the bat, the first thing you should notice is the headlight design. You have a very large headlight housing. You can see how small the actual lights inside are. What I do like is how they brought the blue right into that headlight housing. And I think that would be a zonk for me. It's a blue Ferrari. For me, a Ferrari has to be red. I mean, that's the racing color of Italy. That's the color associated with Ferrari. But hey, this blue does look mighty good. Now, in the lower corners, you're gonna have these large, massive air intakes. Of course, that's for cooling, but the engine is in the middle of the car rather than up front like a lot of the early traditional Ferraris. As we come across the front nose area, you can see how everything kind of tucks in the center area, kind of gets pinched. The reason why is we're trying to channel air underneath. Ferraris, if you look, for the most part, don't have huge wings. Yes, the Ferrari F40 and the F50 did, but on these types of Ferraris, they did not have large wings. All the downforce is going to be created from underneath. Now, yes, there is some from the shape of the car, but it's all from those tunnels underneath the car. Now, as we go up onto the front, because remember, this is a trunk up front, you have the iconic prancing horse, the tricolore. It all goes back to this mother approaching Enzo and saying, hey, can you honor my son who was a fighter pilot, had the horse painted on his plane. She wanted him to have the horse. Ferrari wanted to honor her family and put the prancing horse on the car, and the rest is history. So iconic. As we come around the bend, you can see the nice flowing lines. A Ferrari, even though this car is 20 years old, it still looks like it rolled right out of Maranello. The shape is just timeless. You can see all the air intakes on the front and coming out the side. Wheels. Now, I am going to zonk this wheel. I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but this was a popular style, especially in the early 2000s. Now, if you look, it's a two-piece wheel. So what that means is this wheel actually comes apart in two separate pieces. That's to cut down on weight. So your rotating mass is going to be lighter, give you a quicker steering. I'm just not a big fan of the chrome on the outside, but it's got the matching blue on that 5-star. There's your prancing horse. You got your your 4-piston caliper. That is what the technology was at the time. Now we have 6-piston caliper, ceramic carbon fiber brake rotors and everything else, or carbon ceramic rotors and everything else. But this one has full cross-drilled and ventilated rotors, but just has a nice look to it sitting here. As we go into the fender, it's got the Scuderia badges that, like I said, Scuderia Ferrari, the prancing horse, the tricolore, so much history. Look at how low the car is and just how the flow of it. It really is like a beautiful woman's body, the shape of it. The nice curve. You have this lower area, which is spot on the money, how it just flows the air into your rear brake cooling up top. You have your actual engine cooling flowing into here. And if you notice the Pininfarina badge, that's another name, Italian name, associated with Ferrari for so many years. They're the ones that actually designed the exterior shell of the Ferrari bodies. This was the first time that they worked with a company called Alcoa, which developed a special aluminum frame to help cut down the weight. Now we have carbon fiber, no more aluminum frames. As we come to the rear, the nice wide haunches of the fenders, and then nothing says Ferrari more than having that clear glass window to where you could see that V8. It's a naturally aspirated V8, 8,500 in RPM redline. We don't have to go too crazy showing it to you now because guess what? We'll be opening up the back, I promise you. Now, as you drop down, you'll see full ventilation here. This is all mesh design to allow heat to escape. I like the round taillights, and you'll see the quad exhaust tips, and then the massive, I mean, this is right off a prototype race car, the massive rear diffuser channeling air to suck the car down to the ground. That prancing pony. Why don't we go ahead, let's pop this rear hatch and take a look at the heart of this prancing horse. All right, guys, we got the rear hatch area popped. Feast your eyes, that's that 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V8. Now, the way that it has such a high RPM is the same technology that Ford brought into the Shelby GT 350 from 2015 to current year. It's that flat plane crankshaft that allows that V8 to spin at 8,250 RPM. You're looking at 400 horsepower. The car weighs about 3,065 pounds, and it's all mated to that new, at the time, 6-speed automatic transmission, that F1 style. They use the paddles. You can get a manual, good old-fashioned manual, the gated manual, or that automatic fast shifting. You're looking at 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds, top speed around 190 miles an hour. MPGs, who cares about MPGs, but you're looking at 13 in the city, 16 on the highway. Taking a look at that engine, even though it's 20 years old, you can see the aluminum frame in there. This was the first of the Ferraris where you didn't have to like remove the engine to change the oil. So it became a little bit more serviceable and actually easier on the wallet than the 355 in the previous generations, but you still see those large air intakes there, the intake plenum, bright red with your runners and everything. I mean, that's what you want to see. When you open up an engine bay, you want to see that engine and just everything in its glory. The transaxle on the back, like I said, that Formula One technology. You use the paddles to go through that 6-speed manual transmission, or I should say automatic with the paddles, or manual. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the sound of this thing and see what makes a Ferrari a Ferrari. All right, guys, come on inside this Ferrari 360 Modena, the F1 transmission setup and everything. I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, how much is this? MSRP back in 2000 was around $140,000. This one is marked at $69,000. Let's see what you're getting. Now, to the door panels, I love the fine leather all over the door panel. Just so you know, that's all hand stitched at Maranello. The one thing I'm not digging is that silver trim around the perimeter of the door. I am gonna zonk that. It may have looked good 20 years ago. It's not looking too hot. You do have a small pocket for some Italian Twinkies, which is nice. Now, the dash is very far forward. Wonderful leather, the stitch work, the round AC vents. You got your 360 Modena badging. You get to this area, remember, 2000, no infotainment screens. You have your simple stereo system, but I'm telling you right now, they should take this car away from you if you use this Alpine system. It's all about the engine coming out the back. You have your switches for your mirrors that are inboard, simple AC controls. Of course, you got a key ignition. Come down and all you got is a nice center console, that same aluminum finish. I like it here. I don't like it on the door panels, but I like it here. It feels race car. This is not your shifter. This is to go into reverse. So if you're wondering, well, how do you do that? No, you're using the paddles on the actual steering column. You have a good old-fashioned e-brake. You got the cross flags with the Ferrari logo there. That's your ashtray. Come to the back, you got a little cubby here for breath mints when you go to pick up your Italian girlfriend. And then you have leather seats that are just beautiful. I mean, you got the prancing horse. I love all of the blue, the pipework, very, very classy. It's got just enough bolstering. You know you're in a race car, but not too much where it squeezes you to death. Alcantara on the roof panel, the leather all the way around. Why don't you come out with a business end though? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Ferrari 360. All right guys, business end, sitting right in front of that engine, that V8 right behind me through the glass window is really cool. You have electric controls for the driver. One thing I want to point out to you that on Ferraris, they actually moved the dead pedal over. The foot box is a little to the right. Just something to get used to, a little bit different, but the best part is, look at this steering wheel. No buttons, no switches, no Bluetooth, no cruise control, none of that garbage. Just the prancing horse, all that history staring you at in the face. You have the paddles on the steering column to go up and down that 6-speed automatic transmission. And then look at that tack, very classic, black with the white script. You have your gear indicator in the center, all your analog switch gear, your speedometer. You got a digital fuel gauge down there. But the view, you're sitting on the front axle. Unbelievable experience sitting here. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Ferrari for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Reeve Subaru. We're in the Ferrari 360 Modena. It is an honor to get behind the wheel of a car like this. You really feel like you're sitting on that front axle. It's just so smooth, that V8. When you shift, it's like being whipped in the back with an Italian whip, and I love it. I love the feeling. You feel like you're in a race car. You feel like you're in something so different. I'm noticing just how low the dash is and how the front just curves down. You just see the peak fenders. So you got two good visual reference points, but really just the sound. It's a Ferrari. It's like that scene from Fast and the Furious. Ferrari, more than you can afford. But boy, I'm telling you, at $69,000, somebody could realistically buy this. It's within reach. And if you're gonna get one that's older, this one is a good one to get because it's a little easier serviceability rather than say a 355 or a 348. But as you can see, very smooth, easy to see the instrumentation. It's all old school, I love it. Looking out the back, I can see the engine behind the glass window here, behind my head, doing her thing. And we're just in this nice unison. Shifts very, very quick. Unbelievable. It's a Ferrari. I mean, what can you say? It may not be the fastest, but boy, it is sexy and it's got the sound by far. Alright guys, driving just around town, very, very easy, very capable, of course. It is a harder ride, but you gotta remember this is well before adaptive suspension in a street-going car. And really, if you're looking for comfort, you need to look somewhere else because it's a Ferrari. It's about going. It's definitely not about sitting in a nice soft seat, but definitely you feel like you're in something special because it is a very, very special car, and I can't wait for us to make this right-hand turn here because we're going to get some open road for a second, which will be nice. Really, really smooth. I mean, the whole setup of this car is just unbelievable. On throttle. Wow. On the brakes. Look at this. Woo! Handles great, mid-engine. Really fast turning. I mean, you feel so connected to what the car is doing. It talks to you in a totally different way. It really, really does. All right, guys, let's do a little acceleration test on throttle. Here we go. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. The feel, the brakes, the fast transmission, turn in. Woo! On the brakes, and this decreasing right-hand bend. Super smooth. Wow. That's what a Ferrari is all about. Alright guys, hopefully this gave you a nice fun overview of the 360. Wonderful car, great piece of Ferrari history, and really what it's all about. You drive this car, even though it's 20 years old, people think it's a brand new Ferrari. I mean, that's the feeling you're getting in this car. But we're gonna get back to Reeves Subaru, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at Reeves Subaru. This is what it's all about for me, sharing my passion for cars with you, and cars that you can, it's impossible not to be passionate about cars like these. Ferrari 360. Is it the fastest? No, but definitely for a 20-year-old car, still looking good, still looking fresh, and sounding like no other. But if it's cars like these that you want to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. Definitely got to thank LD, Passandra, and the rest of the crew here at Reeves Subaru getting us access to this Ferrari. If you are new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radius Rise merch. I got to give it up to a new Ferrari lover, Tom Moschner. He loved Ferrari, but now he really loves Ferrari after being able to go for a ride in one. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.